Hello, Facebook, and welcome to day 138 of Facebook Live, of 365 days of Facebook Live. My name is Jessica Lozano, and I'm a feminine embodiment mentor and a sacred union relationship coach. And I help women have extraordinary love lives with the love of their life. So today I want to talk about something when it comes to our feminine embodiment and really wanting to live an extraordinary life, an extraordinary romantic life, and just an extraordinary life as you as a woman. Part of our process as a woman is that we have a wide array of emotional ranges, feelings, emotions, and experience. And because we are feminine and we are of the body, a lot of these things for us in particular get very much physically expressed through our body. Meaning, like, we have emotional releases, which looks like crying, which looks like anger, which looks like expressing any form of crying and anger, which could be definitely categorized in different like subcategories. Like maybe crying can look like shame, could be under shame, guilt, pain, suffering, kind of like those types of emotions. Not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, right? But that can also kind of sometimes translate into anger, but anger can be like frustration, annoyance, things not happening, like impatience, things like that, right? So what happens is that, and what I coach my women through, my clients through, is being okay with going to the depths of these emotions. So many of the women that I work with are not allowing themselves to access all of these emotions down here, because for most of their life they have been gaslit into what they're feeling and what they're experiencing as not important or not true, or just completely invalidate their experience with past lovers, through mother or father or both, or through some certain main caregiver. Somewhere along your life, this has been what's been shown to you. And I will put a caveat to that. Maybe one caregiver did, but the other one didn't, right? So it's not always like a full 100% truth. There could be some people in your life that did validate you, that did support you, that did allow you to feel and access your full range, but then there are others that didn't, right? So I want to make that very clear, especially because this is when we can also second guess ourselves and be like, yeah, but my mom did, but then, like, it's no second guessing. We are multidimensional. We have multidimensional experiences. I don't know why I always do this with my hands, but we have so many different experiences in our lives, and each experience and each trauma, negative experience, both and positive, like positive experiences too, can have multiple layers within it, right? So when it comes to emotional releases, let me backtrack here. You can have multiple experiences. So women haven't been given the permission to really access their depth, as well as because in society or conditioning in the programming has been to not access the depth of your dark feminine energy, which is all of these darker, denser emotions that can also bring truth, that can also bring fierceness, that can also bring destruction, in a way that the dark feminine energy is the one that destroys so that you can be rebirthed back into the light, right? So these emotional releases is your dark feminine energy that you want to access. And our dark feminine is in approval of all of her emotions, and she's not scared to go there, right? She really isn't scared to access deep pain, deep sadness, deep suffering, deep anger, guilt and shame, because when you go down to these places, how you access these emotions makes all the difference in whether you're going to come out rebirth or if you're going to play staying here in this dark, dense energy. When you go down to access these emotions, which is what I guide all my women through, this is huge for the women that I work with, because their past lovers have never really validated their experiences and validated their denser emotions, really, because they were just a mirror to her. She wasn't validating her emotions. She wasn't validating her own experiences, so a man could not meet her there. So what I teach my clients is when they go down and access these emotions is to hold space for them, number one, and to be unconditional for it. So this means to hold space means to witness something without judgment. That's what holding space is. Holding space is I'm going to be able to witness this person and their full anger and their full sadness and all the things that come out of their mouth that are just emotions that need to get expressed, just feelings that need to get expressed that aren't always true. It's just what you're feeling. True in the sense, the overall truth of who you are. Maybe it's true to how you are feeling in that moment, but not to the truth of all of you, right? To like your highest power. Why do I keep hearing? Is it this? Oh, please do not tell me this chair is going to start making noises. I'm going to be so mad. Okay. I got sidetracked there. All of who you are. Oh, holding space, right? Holding space without judgment. This is a big thing because in the past, you may have gone down to these places, but really judged yourself for going there, or not really go to the depth, but experience an emotion and then judge that emotion and then judge that emotion for having that emotion. And it was like this compound of like really like just a bunch of crap that got layered on top of what you were really going to access, and therefore you're not even allowing yourself to actually feel what is there at the root, right? So when that happens, you're not holding space for yourself, right? You're actually making what you're feeling bad, making what you're feeling wrong, and that's not the way to hold space. That is the opposite of space holding, right? So you want to go down to this place of just holding space for yourself, and then also giving yourself radical love and compassion, unconditional love and compassion, which means I hear you and I feel you and I'm here for you. I hear you and I feel you and I'm here for you, right? As you're going down and having these emotional releases, feeling all the things that are there, when you hold space for yourself, witness yourself without judgment, allowing the full unleashed expression of what's happening. Again, here I go with my hands going like this. Why do I do that? And being so unconditionally loving to yourself and what it is. This is how you come onto the other side, rebirth. This is the rebirth process. This is the cycle that all of us go through in our months, but also in what is happening within our life. And this allows you to go up to the next phase of your life. So, I think I gave you a little panty shot. When you go down to these places with attachment to, when you go down to these places with judgment, with attachment to, let's say, the person who maybe caused these emotions and caused these feelings, when you go to it in this place of powerlessness, then like I am succumbed to my emotions, I'm defeated to my emotions and to my emotional state, and there's nothing that I can do about it. You're going to stay down here in this pain and suffering. You're not going to actually alchemize and become rebirthed, right? So that's the first thing that I want you to understand. The second thing is that you have to make peace with being a feminine woman that is going to go and access all of these things, right? If you want to live an extraordinary life, you have to do extraordinary things, which means you're going to have to take action take courageous action, right? And when you take courageous action, you're going to meet yourself with all your shadows. And all these shadows come with an emotional release that needs to get released out of your body and alchemized so that more light can pour into your body, so that you can hold more, so you can be in a higher frequency, so you can attract people, places, circumstances that are lighter to you, where your life feels lighter, where you're walking around the day and you're like, wow, everything feels so good and feels so light. Like my coworker relationships, my relationship with my lover, like my relationship with my family, my relationship with my work and my career, and all is my relationship with money, my relationship with my body feels so light, so expansive, right? You want this for yourself. You want to live this extraordinary life. So you're going to have to face these shadows, which means you're going to have to go through this death portal to go into the rebirth. There's no other way around it. If not, you are spiritually bypassing. So the only way to access more happiness and to feel happier is that every single time you get to these places, right? It's not that you're searching for these shadows. It's that as you are expanding and wanting to hold more in your life and you're following your heart's desires, you get met with your shadows. You get met with these shadows that most likely require some form of emotional release. Not always. Sometimes it's just like be able to see the thought and then whoosh, you swipe it away, that you float it away, you release it right away. Sometimes it's as easy as that. Other times it's going to be, depending on the level of attachment to the shadow, to the level of intensity of the shadow, it will require some form of emotional release. And that's the alchemizer to the rebirth. So do not fear your sadness. Do not fear your anger, right? And there's something else I want to talk about this. A lot of women fear to go into their anger because of fear that they're going to be looked at like, well, one of my clients said this. She's like, you ever heard of, was it angry black woman? Is that what she said? Something like that. So there was like a judgment against herself and against her own race about being angry as a black woman. And it's like, yeah, well, have you heard of crazy Latina? Like, these are all, every single race will have their own versions of a woman who has not been able to process her own anger, her own emotions, and then projects it out onto other people, right? This is why you have to do these practices on a regularly when you meet your shadows, when you meet the parts of you that are being faced with your biggest fears, with your biggest concerns, with your biggest, like, I don't know if I can do this, I feel so much, with your biggest place of like, is this ever going to happen for me? Grief, all of these things, you have to give yourself the space to go there, or that is when you will project it out onto other people. That's when you become the crazy black woman, what my client said. That's when you become the crazy Latina. That's when you become the crazy white girl, whatever it is, right? Every race has their version of a crazy woman. All of us have a capacity to go crazy if we do not heal, if we do not completely go and access these things. So once you go and access this is when you elevate to the next level, right? Because you cleared it out of your system. You feel better, you feel lighter, you get penetrated with the truth, you get penetrated with guidance, maybe not immediately, but eventually the guidance does come because you did the work. You met God halfway. And he's like, yes, beautiful woman. Here you go. Here's the next. You are now a match for the next insight that I want to give you. Here you go. You are now a match for this door that is now open because you have finally released this, right? This is what happens. And now you are a match who's going to be able to meet you in your deepest places because you can hold yourself through this, which means you are able to surrender and allow a man to hold you through this as well. Like, he's going to be able to have that within him because you have that within you. Like attracts like. So within as without, as they say. Which, don't really like the without part, but I haven't found my own better version to say it. So we're just going to stick with that. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Is there anything else that I want to say? I do have a free masterclass right now coming up on September 11th called Finding the One, What It Takes to Have the Relationship of a Lifetime. And it is 4 modules, 1 Q&A at the very end. And it is going to be a spectacular masterclass that really allows you to see and know what it is that you need to do, what you need to embody in order to be a match for your king. In order for you to have a relationship that heals like the legacy of your family, a relationship that feels so, that expands your heart because of how great it can be, a relationship where you are a team when it comes to things that you guys are having challenges with versus fighting like enemies. To have a relationship where something happens that was an innocent mistake and your partner doesn't crucify you. Instead, he says, honey, we need to really talk about something. This is not okay. Like, we really need to work on this. And you guys can talk about it. You're like, holy shit, a man like this exists. A man that chooses you and supports you in all your endeavors. A man that gives you wings. That gives you wings. Not like Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings. A man that allows your wings to fully grow all the way and doesn't hold you back. And he grows with you. So if this is what you desire in your life, for your relationships, for your relationship, join this free masterclass. Message me, the one, and I'll go ahead and send you the link. There's also a VIP option if you want to upgrade into it, which I highly recommend. It is the best thing ever to get real hands-on advice about all the questions you have. That's going to start moving the needle in your love life with men, with getting you closer to being that match for the one. All right, my loves, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.